Hi.
Hi.
So, welcome to Fight Night TV, kind of. We're gonna have some locker room talk with Felipe Mangusto.
Yes.
Yes. And so I wanted to ask you, like, how's HEMA in Brazil like?
HEMA in Brazil is growing a lot. I'm very happy with what has been happening the past couple of years. Of course, it's not as developed and doesn't have as much of a tradition and as you find here in Europe. You guys started it, of course. But from when I started going to the first events and tournaments in Brazil, like in 2018, 2017, to what we see now, there was a very clear growth, especially post-COVID. I think somewhere post-COVID, 2022, late 21, we saw like the tournaments doubled and doubled and doubled in size. We got a few big events that we managed to make happen. We had the Arnold Classic tournament that we managed to organize. The Nationals now have a lot more people. So we're seeing like a very exponential growth in Brazil. Of course, it's nowhere near as big as the tournaments that you guys get here sometimes with 200 people or something like that. But both the quality of the fencers as a result of more people competing, of course, and taking it more seriously, and the size of the events have been growing quite a lot. So it's pretty fantastic, the exponential growth we'll be seeing. And I think that in no more than a few years, we're going to have a very big scene. We have a few challenges that make it hard for us. I think the two main ones is first the size of the country. Brazil itself is almost the size of the entire Europe. So getting people together to make these big events can be very difficult sometimes. But the main challenge I think Brazil has faced over the years when it comes to getting into HEMA is the price of the gear. In Brazil, sadly, our minimum wage is like 200 euros or less. So imagine buy one feather that costs 2 minimum wages, because then you have to ship it there and the taxes and stuff. So it's pretty tough. But recently, half advertising, but Manzini is a local sword maker who's been making the swords I even used at Fight Night, and he makes very sturdy swords last years.
Brazilian swords.
The Brazilian swords, and he's selling at a accessible price of very high quality weapons. Helped a lot of us. People are starting to slowly acquire more gear. People, when I travel here, I always bring some gear back just to sell at the same price I bought to the Brazilians, so we can spread more items through the groups. And I think this has been slowly making us really catch up a little more on the quality of fencing and the size of the groups.
Okay. How big are clubs like, or events even?
There's a big variety. I think the bigger clubs, the bigger club probably is the one in Rio de Janeiro, the Academia de Esgrima Histórica Carioca. I know probably nobody understood that because in Portuguese, but Breno is the guy leading it. He's a very committed guy, a good teacher. His club, I think he often has like classes with like 40 people on the classes, and he always puts at least 20, 25 people in tournaments just from his club. So it's a lot of fencers. He's doing a very good job. But the groups will vary a lot. You see some that are a little smaller, that classes are like 10, 15 people, 5, 8. Some get some 15, 20 people. There's a big variance. Like I said, I think the main challenge is not the amount of people and amount of interest. It's more the price of equipment and the distance between the clubs to really get everybody together for those bigger tournaments. Is difficult when you have 3 days drive between one city to my city to São Paulo is 2 days drive. So to get my guys to the nationals, it's hard to send 8 people. I send 3, 2, 4 because they gotta get by flights and it's expensive. So that's the main challenge we have. But we're catching up. Catching up for sure.
So how far do you have to travel for like visiting the next club? Like
from my city, the closest one is probably in Minas Gerais. It would be a 15, 16-hour drive. The nearest club to mine. So it's difficult. So a big country makes it a lot harder for this kind of stuff to happen. Plus the price of equipment that in relation to the salaries in Brazil, it's more steep, made us a little slower on the beginning to catch up with HEMA, but now I feel like we're starting to see, I travel a lot here, I fence with the Germans, I fence with the Netherlands guys, the Polish guys, and I see them fencing, and I'm starting to really see that the really good guys in Brazil are getting to a level that they can compete, they can at least show a good front. And that's super exciting. I'm starting to see that. Of course, we have a lot of work to do, but it's really nice to see that We have at least some fencers that are really good already. We have bigger tournaments starting to show up, and it's pretty exciting. Looking forward to it.
Oh, that's cool. Sounds cool. As some of you might know, Felipe was fighting yesterday and or a Saturday tournament against Philip.
Philipp Lechner, the German Philip.
So no spoilers.
No spoilers. But you guys have to watch to find out how the fight went down. But the only spoiler we can give, it was pretty exciting.
Okay, you can show your arm.
Exciting. I can show my arm. You can see it was very exciting. A lot of intensity in the fight. Yeah. It's a great fight.
Yeah.
And Philip is an amazing fencer. I have a lot of appreciation for him.
Yes, what was the most exciting fight so far within the last 3 years?
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yes. And so I guess you talked about that yesterday, but how did you prepare?
How did I prepare for it? So preparation was tricky because the way we do tournaments in Brazil are quite different from here. The rule sets and the arena size, all of it is a little different. You guys have smaller arenas here compared to Brazil. In Brazil, at least most of the tournaments, we use a little bigger ones, and they're usually rectangular in most of the tournaments. Not all, but most of the tournaments I've been to, we had rectangular arenas that are a little longer. I think the size itself is similar to the one we had here, but instead of a square, it was more rectangular, so we have more space for movement. Yeah. And a little less constant engagement. So that was, I think, a challenge I had with the slightly smaller arena that I'm used to, at least on the straight line itself. So that's something that I wish I had realized more and prepared a little more for a more immediate engagement or a little less footwork play than I'm used to. I usually like to cook the footwork a little more. Philip, of course, did a good job of pressuring and keeping me with little space behind me, which is a great strategy I think he came up with. My preparation was largely, of course, with my own group, but after I got here, I did some sparring with the other German guys on a Hamburg event that I went to 2 weeks ago. You were there, you saw me. And that was a good thing for me to feel how the Germans fight here, which is a little, I feel like every country has a bit of a way of fighting that's a little distinct sometimes. I think the Germans fight in a very exciting way. It's a very intense fencing and very fun to watch and experience as well. So I think I got a lot from that, from feeling out that nice intensity of the Germans and learning that, okay, I gotta match this, I gotta parry a little harder, I gotta be a little more intense on the bind because of it. And other than that, my preparation was largely just keeping up with my own drills and my training. I saw some videos of Philip. He has a very big YouTube channel. Shout out to his YouTube channel, Doppelsodner TV. I hope I didn't butcher that name. But I saw some videos of him fencing, so I had more or less an idea of how he would perform. But I try to not focus too much on tunnel visualing into how the opponent fences and try to create too much of a specific strategy, because sometimes if you do that, when you're fighting the person and what you planned don't work, you would panic. So I try to focus more on my skills that I trust and rely than, oh, that guy fights this way, I'm gonna make a poison for this guy or that guy because that's how it's gonna go down. I think it's nice to have an idea, but not over-focus on it and end up disappointed and suddenly your plan goes out of the window and you're panicking because, oh no, all the things that were giving me confidence now are out the window, I don't know what to do. Yeah.
If people wanted to go to Brazil just for fencing or fun, where should they go probably?
Well, fencing, I think the best places you can go in Brazil that have the more active groups. Of course, you can visit our group in Salvador, Bahia. It's a very tropical place. You have nice beaches and nice weather, if you like hot weather. However, my club is, of course, a little isolated because of how far it is from São Paulo and Rio. São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro have the most amount of groups and people per square meter. So you will find a lot of very good fencers there. I can give some good clubs that I can recommend. Style Factor in São Paulo, Companhia de Marte in São Paulo. There's Alcateia de Prata in Falcão Negro, also in São Paulo state, not the main city. Rio de Janeiro, like I said, the Academia Histórica Brasileira. There's also in Curitiba, Grifo de Fogo, also a great club. So I would say Curitiba, Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo. Minas Gerais, there's some clubs too. Bahia, those are the states you would look into.
Okay, cool.
They're all pretty apart, and depending on what you want and on your travel, you can always visit us. They are all very nice people, and I'm pretty sure that if anyone from here were to go there, call me, hit me on Facebook. I will find people to welcome you there. I will find people to show you the groups, and of course, if you want to tour, I'm sure they will be very welcome. It's a very welcoming people, and we get excited as hell when people from outside visited us. Since we're so isolated, it's always a great experience.
Okay. And the guys were also like watching together, like yesterday.
Yes, everybody was watching. When I picked up my phone after the fight, the amount of messages I had, and not only from Brazilian guys, but even on Facebook, I got like 200 friendship invites from people around the world saying, "Oh, I saw you fencing. That was pretty cool. That was really awesome." And the Brazilian people, we have the soccer culture, World Cup culture of like, let's get together and watch. So there was like groups of 10, 15 people, 20 people watching together on the TV and having beer and barbecue. I'm glad I didn't see that before the fight, because that would have made me 1,000 times more anxious about it. But it was pretty cool. If one thing I can say about Brazil is that like we have really come together a lot, as even though we're so far apart as a community doing HEMA together, we've been coming together a lot, and we really root for our guys when we go fence outside and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool to see. And I want to thank everyone from Brazil for being so close.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all for today.
Absolutely. I want to, of course, to thank you and Garrett and everyone who made Fight Night happen. That was a great event. It was absolutely amazing for me, like huge experience. And I'm honored that you guys had seen me fencing before, and you guys gave me an opponent that it's really hard, and the current highest ranked German guy, a guy who's been winning a lot of tournaments, a guy who I know it's seen as very good and is very, very good. That made me, before even the fight, I already feel pretty honored, because I know you guys always match people that you feel like are even on an even level. So it felt like a big trust on my skills to put me against someone like that. And I'm very happy as well that the fight turned out to be very exciting and fun to watch. Yeah. And thanks for Philippe Lechner for being such a great fencer and pretty cool in general guy. Me and him have been talking a lot ever since. We're looking forward to spar, learn from each other, especially since we have pretty different styles. I think we can grow a lot, and we both have the same mindset of like constant learning and getting better and better. So I even feel like I made good friends as well, which is the most important part.
Okay. That's maybe interesting information for anyone who wants to fight on a fight night. Apparently you just have to you just have to come here and slap me in the face.
Yeah, so. Visit this guy, fight with this guy, and he'll be like, okay, let's do this.
So if you fuck me up, that's...
Yeah, he's the wall. You gotta fight him, do well, and then you get tested. Yeah.
Okay, so...
Little spoiler though, it's tough. He's pretty tough. Get ready for some nasty Zwerghast.
Okay, Felipe, thanks for the interview.
Oh, thank you so much
for coming here.
Absolutely.
I think we get back into the hall and get some...
Oh yeah, watch the workshops and sparring. Well, I will watch you guys sparring, but next time.
Okay.
Thank you so much everyone, and good night, or afternoon, morning.
Bye.
Bye.